Alright, this video is going to be for an assignment. This should be your last assignment, excuse me, in guitar level 3. So what we're going to do up to this point, we've done a lot of power chords, we're finding the notes, we're switching strings with the power chords. We've also done some scales, getting all of our fingers strong, some eighth note stuff. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start what's called open chords. Sometimes you hear these as like campfire chords, or I think it's a lot of the times what people think when you learn how to play guitar. You play these open chords. Okay? They sound really nice because you're going to be hitting 4 or 5 or even up to 6 strings. So mostly up to now you're used to doing 1 note at a time, or a power chord, which is 2 notes, right? So your open chords have a nice kind of big sound to them, okay? Also what's nice is a lot of songs use them, right? So a lot of songs use these open chords. Songs you know, popular songs, traditional songs, okay? So once you really get a handle on these open chords, it really opens up a lot of things you can do. Now, one of the things we don't start with them is they're actually, if you never play guitar, they're quite more difficult than, like, for example, a power chord, right? A power chord is just using 2 fingers. You play 2 notes at a time. Relatively easy compared to these open chords where you're pressing down with 2 or 3 fingers. You're having to bend your fingers and lots of stuff like that. So that's kind of why we hold off on them a little bit. Because now at this point your fingers are a little bit stronger, you should have some calluses. So now when we get these open chords, it should be at least a little bit easier, okay? So what you should be looking at is the open chords sheet. Again, this is on level 3. It should look something like this, okay? I want to take just a moment because it can be a little confusing to read, and you want to take some time on the sheet, because after the sheet, my assumption will be that you know how to read these open chords. It's like I'm not going to explain the next level. When you're using these, you should already know how to read them. But essentially, if you see your sheet, okay, they're written as if the guitar was on a stand vertically, right? So that's where it can be confusing. So I'm going to start on the E chord. If you look at the bottom right of your sheet, I kind of wrote out some notes on that first chord. So we want to try and check it out. You have 6 vertical lines, okay? So 1 line per string. If you're looking at your box diagram, the E all the way on the left, again, this is the bottom right, your E chord, the example, that E corresponds to your 6th string, which is your lowest string, the one closest to you. So it goes E, A, D, G, B, E, okay? The black dots are the actual notes you're going to play. So you're going to play, again, more than 1, 2, 3, 4 notes at a time, okay? And then the numbers beneath the diagrams are finger numbers. Now keep in mind, on guitar, your thumb is not a finger number. It's in the back, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, your pinky being 4, okay? So it's important on all these, you have to play the right notes, and you have to use the right fingerings, okay? So you have to kind of put that all together. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the E chord real quick, and then the other ones I'll just play once. But again, super important on the sheet that you can do it on your own, because after this, if I just hand you some chords, I'm going to assume that you can figure out how to play them. So if I'm looking at that bottom right E, my E string is open, okay? Next, I'm on the A string. You notice that black dot is on the 2nd fret or the 2nd box, and there's a 2. So that 2nd fret, 2nd finger. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go to the next one. That'd be on my D string, and it says 3, 3rd finger. Notice this is the same fret because it's the same box, okay? Now I'm on the G. I notice there it's the 1st fret, and I look below, it says 1. So 1st fret, 1st finger, okay? Now my other strings have a circle on it. That just means open, okay? Later on, if you see an X, that means don't hit. So in this case, my other strings are open. I have my notes. Now on the E, I'm going to hit everything. Okay, it should sound something like that. Now at the beginning, it's pretty common to get some buzzing. So what usually happens is maybe you're not pressing down on all your fingers because you're not used to having to put pressure down on more than 2 at a time. Or another common thing, if your fingers are bending a little bit like this, they'll touch an open string. Like here, if my 1st finger is touching this open string, the open string can't vibrate if something's touching it. So you have to get used to really curling all your fingers. That way you should get all your strings to ring out, okay? So what I'm going to do just real quickly, I'm going to play each chord just once, just so you can kind of see it. But again, you should be able to do this without looking at my hand. So here's E. Here's A. Notice I hit 5 strings on A. I don't hit the 6th string. D, I'm only hitting 4 of the strings. There's 2 strings X'd. Okay, here's my 2nd row, E sus. Here's A sus. D sus. have to show me all the chords, basically proving to me that you know how to read the chord diagrams. Spend at least a little bit of time. I'm trying to get the chords to sound good. So if you hear buzzing, go one string at a time. So if I'm playing, I don't know, E, if I get something like that, I'll look at my hand. Okay, this finger's touching it, or maybe it's not down all the way. Okay. Then on the next sheet, you're actually going to use these chords and switch, which is more difficult. But then we'll start playing songs where we use the chords, right? But for now, that's intro to open chords. Good luck. Excuse me, and I'll see you next time.